Hey, happy Friday to you. It is July 1st and time for this week's Friday Funnies. I can't believe it. July 1st already. The year is half over. And what do we have to show for it? Well, we have a national debt that's growing by the minute, and then we have an economy that's not growing at all, and then we have gasoline prices that are outgrowing our ability to pay them. You know, it's a real feel-good time of the year. But it could be worse. You could be Rod Blagojevich, the former governor of Illinois, was found guilty this week of 17 counts of corruption, which could send him to prison for 300 years. Now, his lawyers are currently trying to work out a deal where Rod only serves like a year or two, and then he surrenders his hair to finish out the rest of his term. So we'll see how that works out for him. You know, it's a proud legacy. We will now have 2 consecutive governors of Illinois in federal prison, and it's a proud legacy we have. Illinois, where the Fifth Amendment is written into the governor's oath of office. And speaking of politicians gone wild, Anthony Weiner may not be in the headlines right now, but he's always worth mocking in the Friday Funnies, to the point where we've even got a new section of the Funnies called Wieners Corner. That's right, this week's submission into Wiener's Corner comes from Mark Mayfield of Tucson, Arizona. And Mark wrote us a limerick this week for Anthony Weiner. Here it is, and I love a good limerick. There once was a weirdo named Weiner who had a perverted demeanor. Got kicked off the hill for acting like Bill. Now Congress is one wiener leaner. Huh? Oh, you bet. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you very much to Mark Mayfield for sending that in. If you have a Wiener joke or a poem or a limerick or an ode or anything, send it to me. And we'll put it here on the Friday Funnies. Maybe we can have Wiener's Corner every single week. But first, it's time to take a look at the real wieners in this week's news. In Delaware, Ohio, 30-year-old Stephanie Robinette was confronted by police who were responding to a domestic dispute call at a wedding reception. Apparently, she was battling with her husband, and when police arrived, they found her sitting in the passenger seat of her car. They asked her to get out, and she refused, saying that she was a breastfeeding mother. Then, apparently, to prove her point, she whipped out one of her breasts and sprayed the officers. Now this was a shock to me, primarily because I had no idea that you had that kind of distance and accuracy with those things. I really didn't know that. Now it's very clear to me why God did not give men breasts. Because, you know, in addition to wasting your entire day playing with them, I can see breast milk fights breaking out in the locker room. You know, hey, Ernie! Hey, I got you on that one. All right, whoa, look out. It just wouldn't be right. Well, here's something you don't see every day. In Seattle, passersby spotted a Seattle police car parked on the street with an AK-47 police rifle lying on the trunk. Not in it, right on top of it. No police were inside the car. None were seen in the area. Apparently, they're out looking for their lost gun. So anyhow, these people flagged down some police officers on bicycles, and they waited for the other policemen to return. You know, had this been, let's say, a Brinks truck that left all of their money on the trunk of their car, the police never would have known anything.
Please hang up and try again.
Trevor Smith walked into a Kmart store in Louisville, Kentucky, and he started to exhibit what was described as odd and erratic behavior. Now, this was probably due to the fact that he was high on Xanax at the time. Now, Xanax is normally used to treat anxiety attacks, and I don't know how much of the stuff that Trevor took, but when the police arrived, he was anything but anxious. He was relaxed, so relaxed, in fact, that when cops came close to him, he took off all of his clothes and started to prance away. And the cops caught the naked man, pretty soon. They said they did lose him for just a second when he ran into the home furnishings department and he kind of disappeared among the other dried arrangements. In Columbus, Ohio, the Freedom from Religion Foundation put up a billboard promoting atheism. Now, ironically, the billboard was located on property owned by the Christ Cathedral Church, and the church is really not a big fan of atheism. So they complained and the billboard was taken down. My big question here is exactly what do atheists have to promote? What's their selling point? I mean, you have no religious holidays, no Christmas presents, no Easter eggs, no church picnic, and who do you call out to when you're having sex? In exchange, what do you get? You get to sleep in on Sunday morning. Well, let me tell you this, most believers do that anyhow. Hey, that's all I have for you this week. Have yourself a safe and a sane 4th of July. That's Independence Day here in the States, and everywhere else in the world it will be the 4th of July. But have a safe and sane one anyhow. And we'll see you next week from Orlando, Florida.